Things that you probably missed whilst watching Squid Games Part 1. The fact that the players could have known which games they were going to be playing all along. They were actually painted on the walls. We see this at the end of the season, when all of the beds are cleared away. However, if you look closely at the beginning scenes, you can actually see the paintings on the walls peeking through the beds. Which means the players could have known exactly which games they were going to be playing if only they had paid close attention. Like for Part 2. That you probably missed whilst watching Squid Games Part 2. So, we all know this guy, right, from episode 1. Something dodgy about him. Don't know why, I just don't like him, but anyway, we move. Well, apparently, these 2 colour cards determine your role in the game. Which means, if you choose the blue card, like Jihan did, you become a player, but if you choose the red card, you become a member of staff. Now, I'm not sure if this is more a theory than a fact, but I mean, it does make sense, because otherwise, how are the staff recruited? What do you think? Does the colour card you choose determine your role in the game? Like for Part 3. That you probably missed watching Squid Games Part 3. That player 001 was visibly protected during all of the games. In Game 1, Red Light, Green Light, player 001 is not being tracked by the doll. You can see that he does have a slight green aura around him, however, compared to all of the other players, it's nothing. In the third game, Tug of War, every player had silver locks on their wrist, for example, Ali. However, when we see player 001, he doesn't have locks on his wrist, meaning if they had accidentally lost that game, he could have escaped. Finally, the Marvel game. Player 1 instantly went and sat on his own, hoping that no one would pick him, because he knew he would then get straight through to the next round. However, when that didn't go to plan, he then let Jihan win so he could exit the game, probably knowing that this game was up next, and he didn't trust his memory to remember the right squares to step on because of his illness. See you in Part 4! That you missed whilst watching Squid Games Part 4. So, we all know Jun-ho, the policeman who snuck into the games and pretended to be a member of staff. Well, when he sneaks into the front man's personal office, grabs an archive off the shelf and opens it up, we see this. That this book starts with player 002. So why was there no player 001 in the book? Well, this is our giant clue that this guy right here has always been player 001 and he's been playing in the games for years. Did you catch on to that one whilst you watched it? See you in Part 5. That you probably missed whilst watching Squid Game Part 5. That player 001 is actually Jihan's father. The first clue to this is revealed in episode 3, where we find out that Jihan doesn't drink milk. Player 001 then says, "You are just like my son, he doesn't like milk either." The second clue is that player 001 then gave Jihan his jacket, probably as a sign to the guards to protect Jihan and not hurt him. Clue number 3, in Game 4 we find out that they both lived in the same neighbourhood and, quote, the alleyways to their house looked the same. And clue number 4, possibly the biggest one, is that during the marbles game, right before player 001 knew he was going to exit the game, he said to Jihan, "I forgot to get my son a birthday present this year. I hope he forgives me." Some think that this was his last attempt to try and tell Jihan that he was his son before he quit the game. See you in Part 6.
Game begin.